We are all super excited.
I am too. Are you coming to
We,
Lisa Scottolini this week?
what day is that?
That
Fri-
is Friday at Bookbird.
I'm gonna be at a
Okay,
concert.
guys.
Oh, wait, are we
Oh,
live?
I think we're live.
Yay!
are we live?
Lisa can double check, but I think we
I
are
am.
live for our.
We are live.
Yay.
Woohoo!
We had a little bit of a struggle tonight, but we are live.
Yay! Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday night, and welcome to our July 2026 book club discussion with the Queen, Mary Kay Andrews, for Road Trip.
I
And
don't have my hat, but I'm pointing anyway.
we know you guys are super excited to discuss this amazing book that we all love so much. But for our newcomers, I'm Lisa Harrison, and I'm with my beautiful co host who is wearing a gorgeous necklace tonight,
Thank you.
Brenda Gardner. And we've got Mary Kay Andrews with us, y'all. So I'm going to shut
I
up and let
know.
Brenda let you guys know about the Queen.
Okay, well, I would love to. And so let me introduce Mary Kay is the New York Times best-selling author of A Little Thing with 34 novels. A
Oh,
native of St.
just
Petersburg,
34.
Florida, she earned a BA in journalism from the University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs. After a 14-year career working as a reporter at newspapers, including the Savannah Morning News, the Marietta Journal, and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, where she spent the final 10 years of her career, she left journalism in 1991 to write fiction. Her first novel, Every Crooked Nanny, was published in 1992 by HarperCollins. She went on to write 10 critically acclaimed mysteries under her real name, Kathy Trocheck. In 2002, she assumed the pen name Mary Kay Andrews with the publication of Savannah Blues. And in 2006, Hissy Fit, which I love that title,
I
became her
love that
first New
book.
York Times bestseller, followed by 15 more New York Times, USA Today, and Publishers Weekly bestsellers. She and her family divide their time between Atlanta and Tybee Island, Georgia. In between cooking, spoiling her grandkids, and plotting her next novel, Mary Kay is an intrepid treasure hunter whose favorite pastime is junking and fixing up old houses. Welcome, Mary Kay.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Love
We've
it,
been
of
so
course.
excited.
So, Mary Kay, we know you have been in the throes of touring for Road Trip, and it's such an amazing novel. I just wondered if you could share some of the highlights of your tour so far.
Yeah, it's been great. I was on the road off and on for about 6 weeks and met so many amazing people. And of course, lots of everywhere I went, it seems like there were lots of friends and fiction folks there cheering me on, and
Yay.
got to catch up with some old fans and some old friends. Um, I was keeping records of, I did have notes about, I was going to do like a Oscars for the best, like the best turnout, best food.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
I love
awesome.
that.
But I don't know if I ever finished it. I will tell you that, like in Avon, Connecticut, the library there did an amazing thing. They had it, the meeting room was set up like an airport waiting room, and they had now arriving, and they had little cardboard suitcases that each had they each had a chocolate kiss in them, and then there were two that people had won something that they had a little slip that said you won. And then we were in Indiana with Wild Geese Bookshop, and the signing was at a winery. And Meg Walker and I, Meg was my roadie for the first half of the trip. Meg and I pulled up, and there were people, there was like a couple hundred people there, and they were tailgating. They had a food truck, and folks had their
I
soccer
love
chairs, and
it.
they were tailgating, and they just had the best time. And then of course when we were leaving, as right before we were getting ready to leave, um, a tornado went through.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
yeah,
God.
so we drove to the next town, and we were starved. we went into this restaurant. Now it's about 9 o'clock at night, and it's this old brick foundry building in this small town in Indiana. And the tornado sirens are going off, and there's a thing saying, "Everyone, go to the basement, go to the basement."
Oh
And the
my God.
servers were like, "Oh yeah, no, that happens all the time." So, those were a couple. And Meg, it seems like Meg and I every year drive through a tornado. It wouldn't be book tour if we didn't drive through a tornado.
Oh my gosh, that sounds pretty exciting.
That was excitement we didn't need.
No,
Right.
that's true. Although, what a great idea. I love the airport waiting area and
Yeah.
that's so creative.
Yeah, people are,
That's so
especially
cool.
libraries, are so creative, and it was fun. And I had two luggage mishaps, 30 some years of touring, and two times on this tour my luggage didn't make it to my stop.
Oh,
That's the
I
worst.
had to go shopping
oops.
Oh no.
with Christy. I had to
That's
go Christy.
terrible.
Yeah, my suitcase didn't make it to Beaufort, so I was forced to go shopping with Christy. You know what that meant? Cutest dresses ever.
I know,
I was gonna
right? I
say,
need to find out
Yeah.
her
that
secret
doesn't
places.
sound like punishment at all. That sounds like,
No, it doesn't,
yeah,
does
Don't
it?
tell Delta though.
no.
Well, I wanted to just share a couple of photos just for our book club members of your time in Atlanta. And Lisa can
Yay.
speak to this more than me, but there's most of the admin team except for me
Yeah,
Except for you and Molly. There's
and
our
Molly.
admin team. Yeah, that was so much fun.
it was so great to see everybody.
That
Except
was
Whoops.
except Brenda.
And there's the road trippers.
Yeah,
There's our hats.
yeah.
We had such a great
Oh,
time. And we love seeing all of our members that have been posting their road trips and their trips to come see you and all of the events
Yeah,
throughout all.
that's been amazing.
It's been so much fun. But speaking of road trips and travel, you have an amazing opportunity for a trip to Ireland so people can go with you to Ireland. It's May 17th through the 26th in 2027.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that trip?
Yeah, it's through John Shores Travel, SHORS, and you can go to
Mhm.
John Shores Travel to their website, and you'll see the trip we have coming up. Only have like it's last I heard, we only have two slots left. Um, but Meg
Ooh,
Walker is going. There it is. Oh, thank you guys for doing that.
you're
Yeah, Meg
welcome.
is
There's a
going.
QR code at the bottom, book club members.
Yeah,
yes.
Meg is going and bringing her mom. So I think we're going to have a great time, and we're going to lots of the spots that are mentioned in the book. So a little bit will be like retracing some of the stuff in the book, which I think is going to be so much fun.
That is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to see all the pictures and see you guys out there in Ireland. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So scan the QR code that Brenda had up there, and you can always find out more about that on Mary Kay's website and also all socials. She's got that on her Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and you can scan the
All
QR
that
code there.
stuff.
All the stuff, all the fun stuff.
Oh, well, let's kind of get started here. If you don't mind. This novel, it was just so much fun. It was such an amazing story. There were so many different themes. There was, second chances, mystery, family legacies, family relationships, authenticity. I just loved it.
Oh,
So, in a moment, Mary Kay, I'd love for you to give us a summary. But book club members, please be sure to put additional questions for Mary Kay in the chat because we'll be looking for it. As always, we are spoiler free until 7:15, but that's only 4 more minutes. So that leaves us plenty of time to dig into this story. So, Mary Kay, could you give us a summary for those who are tuning in just for spoiler free time?
yeah, let's see if I can do it in 4 minutes. This is a story of two sisters, Maeve and Therese. They've grown up in a working class family in Savannah, and when the book opens, their mother, Mary Helen, has just passed away, and it opens with Mary Helen's funeral. And the sisters are long estranged. Therese is a wild seed. She's the older of the two sisters. She's a wild seed and is an actress and has traveled all over. And Maeve is the good daughter. She stayed home. She's teaching English lit at a university in Savannah. And with Mary Helen's death, things sort of come to a head. And their uncle comes to them the night of the wake and says to them, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is your mother has run through all of her life savings and has taken out a mortgage on the house that you both thought was paid off and were set to inherit. And she got scammed by a televangelist. But the good news is Mary Helen's bucket list, her dying wish was for you girls to heal this rift and go to Ireland to sort of mend fences and find each other again. And there's an old family portrait that's sort of at the center of this story. And that portrait will come back literally to haunt us.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of
So-
fact, since you
right.
mentioned it, I'm going to go rogue and say we're going to declare it spoiler time now, just a little bit
Ooh,
early, because
Brenda's going rogue.
that painting is, well, I'm sorry, I'm going rogue, but I'm going to allow you to ask the question.
I'm the rogue one, so let's go. I'm the Therese of the two of us. Um, so the mystery of the painting drives the plot, and we know already that you love antique photos and paintings. And so what fascinates you about the stories hidden behind the old paintings? And what first gave you the idea for this storyline?
I think maybe I'm fascinated by old family portraits because there aren't any in my family. I come from a very working class family like Therese and Maeve. There were no family portraits. There are old, snapshots from the 70s with my mom and my aunt with their frosted bouffant hair and their cigarettes and their cocktails in their hand. That's what passes for family portraits in my family. But I love the stories behind them, and if I don't know a story, I make it up. And this book was uh, the idea came because I saw a portrait that had sold from an Atlanta auction house for $400,000, and it had come out of it had been sold out of an Atlanta mansion. But it originally, the portrait was of Una Guinness, and Una Guinness was one of the fabulous Guinness sisters of the Guinness brewing dynasty. And I started wondering, how did this portrait get from Ireland to Buckhead? How did that happen? And I found out that Una Guinness's father had commissioned the portrait as a wedding gift to her, and also as a wedding gift had given her this amazing estate in the mountains of Wicklow in Ireland. And the portrait hung there for many years. She was married 3 times, and after she died, her son inherited the house. It's called Lagala, and eventually that portrait was missing for 75 years. And once I found out about the portrait and the story behind it, I was having lunch with my editor and my agent in New York, telling them about that and how I was fascinated, partly because of the portrait, partly because my family is Irish. My father's parents were both Irish immigrants who came over in the teens and 20s from Ireland. And my editor said, well, you got to write about it and we'll call it Road Trip.
Oh, right then?
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, wow. Well, you've touched on this already, but Ireland is such an amazing setting for this book. Um, were there other reasons that you decided to make it as a backdrop for the journey? And before you answer, I want to say to our book club members, if you haven't read Mary Kay's author's note in the back of Road Trip, please read it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think basically I was interested. We don't know a whole lot about my grandparents' um, journey from Ireland. They didn't want to talk about it. My grandfather died when I was only about 6 years old, and my grandmother died in 1976 or 7. And she never wanted to talk about. She would just say those were the bad days. And I always
Oh,
wanted to know more. And so my cousins had done a little bit of Ancestry.com, and we found out that she'd come over. She was orphaned. She and her sister were raised by their grandfather. He was a tenant farmer in County Armagh in Ireland. And when she was 20, somebody, we understand it was her employer, eventual employer in the United States, paid my grandmother, Mary Ellen Sherlock's passage. And so they came over in steerage. They came through Cobh, which was the port, the great embarkation point for just the between the 1860s and the 1930s. Between 3.5 and 5 million Irish came to the left Ireland. Most came to the United States. Some went to Australia. Apparently, we've heard that my grandfather had a brother who ended up in Australia. We don't really know. Um, and so I wanted to find out more about that. She came over on a ship called the Cedric, and we found the ship's manifest with her name on it. And that sort of started my journey and starts the journey of my fictional Maeve and Therese have a long ago ancestor, a great, 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 named Kathleen Connor. And the book starts with a prologue with Kathleen Connor and that portrait.
It's so cool how everything comes together. Um, I have a quick question from the chat. Edie would like to know if you're going to replicate an Irish home as one of your rentals, or have you ever thought of
that's a good question.
That is a good
Yeah.
question, but probably not. I mean, I modeled the estate. There's an estate, a fictional estate in Road Trip called Terrymore, and I
Yes.
modeled that after the inspiration for that was a real estate called Rusborough House in the west of Ireland, and of course it was quite grand. The man who sort of founded that family's fortune made a fortune in the South African diamond mines, and he amassed this huge fortune and bought this estate and also amassed a very impressive, huge art collection. And that art collection plays into part of the plot of the book too.
Nice. So, one of my favorite things about the book was the relationship between Maeve and Therese. Therese, keep saying it wrong. Um, they started off estranged. Well, that's kind of putting it mildly, but at the beginning of the story, they were. But then they undergo a gradual transformation. Can you talk about that? Because they both experience such great growth. And then for those in the chat, let us know, who did you relate to more? Were you more of a Maeve or more of a Therese?
Yeah,
Therese?
I mean, I was the middle of three sisters, and my younger sister and I are only 14 months apart, but very, very, very different. I was the rule follower, and Patty, um, who was actually brilliant and was a member of Mensa. Um, After she got out of college, she traveled the world, and she eventually met and married a man in the RAF. But Patty and I are close, but we're just so different. But we always had to share a bedroom. And so, you know, obviously there's tension over that. I mean, turn off the light. No, I don't want to. Hey, you stole my dress. You wore it to school, and you flicked cigarette ashes and burned a hole in it. She did do that. And
Uh-oh.
so I wanted to talk about, the natural stuff that happens between sisters and the fact that they're so very different. Therese is actually more like Mary Helen, her mother, than Maeve, although Maeve stays home and is Mary Helen's last caregiver. And I love to write about reinvention in all my novels. That's sort of the DNA that flows through every single one of my novels. And so I wanted to write about the sisters. Um, learning more about each other and getting over their preconceived notions. You know, Maeve at the beginning of the book is pissed because her sister doesn't come home and help with their mom, even though she knows she's dying. And Therese, of course, resents her sister being Saint Maeve, the martyr, Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrows, always does the right thing. I'm so tired of her. Um, so that tension at the start of the book is sort of the, 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 the starting point for what happens with the sister.
Gotcha. Um, Brenda, do you want to
Yes.
ask your question, or I have a couple more from the chat too I could pull?
Well, why don't you go ahead? I was just going to say I love the way, well, Lisa already mentioned, how they experience such growth, but I love the way that they sort of unknowingly influenced each other to come to their relationship at the end. So that was really cool. But go ahead, Lisa. We'll take a couple of chat questions before moving on.
Okay, we've got some answers, and it looks like the majority of people say they're more like Maeve. Susan's like Maeve. Susie said she's also like Maeve. Maria's like Maeve. Lee's like Maeve. So it's like over pretty much everyone relates more to Maeve. What about you, Brenda?
Well, I related more to Maeve, but I appreciated her sister's influence on her. How about that?
I think when I was younger in my 20s, I was definitely a Maeve. Now that in my 40s, 110% Therese. I don't know.
Good for you.
I think that's
We
how
all
it
we all
goes.
need a little wildness in our lives.
We
Yeah,
do.
we do.
Yeah.
It's good.
Because sometimes you
Um,
need a good adventure, right?
yeah, I mean, you only live once. You got to have fun. So, Leslie said, Izzy fascinated me. Who is she modeled on, or was it a composite of people, like a combination of people?
Who's Izzy?
Is she asking about Esme?
Esme. Esme.
Oh, she said Izzy. She must be Esme. Yeah, I was like, Izzy.
I'm like,
And
there's not an Izzy in this book. I had
Leslie,
an Izzy.
let us know if you mean Esme, Leslie, because yeah, I don't think I was reading another book that had Izzy in it, so I was confused too. But it does. She says Izzy. I think she means Esme.
Okay. No, Esme was just wholly a creature of my imagination. I knew that when the sisters got to Ireland, they were trying to find, and they get to Terrymore, the village where they know that their great 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 lived before she came to the United States. They know there's somebody there. They know her name is Lady Esme. She's a member of the Irish Anglo-Irish aristocracy. And Therese actually tracks her down in a pub. And once I started writing that scene, Esme just came to life. She's cranky. She's cantankerous. Um, she doesn't like strangers. She doesn't like Americans, and she really doesn't like strange Americans. And she's very prickly, and I like to write prickly old ladies because I aspire to become one.
I
We
loved
all,
her.
I did love her. And Leslie did say it was Esme. Sorry. She said
Okay, good,
autocorrect.
good. I'm not going
Autocorrect.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, we're not either. Because I was like, when I said it, I was like, wait,
That autocorrect, it'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Brenda's the queen of autocorrect.
From
And
autocorrect gone wrong.
it's hilarious. So we had several questions. A couple, Susan and also Mama Joyce wants to know, how did you come up with all the names of the characters?
Oh, I that's another thing I like to do. I love to name characters, and I knew that I wanted Irish sounding names for a lot of the characters who obviously are from Ireland. Um, and I needed Therese is a saint's name. Therese of the Little Flower is the patron saint something. I don't remember what. I think it's bleeding tuberculosis, maybe. I'm Irish and Catholic, so we're all named after saints. My real name is Kathleen Patricia, and my little sister is Patricia Maureen. So, and Maeve is
Oh,
yeah, Maeve is a Irish version of Mary. And Mary Helen was kind of a combination of my mother was Sue Helen, Helen Sue, and my grandmother was Mary Ellen. So, I plucked some family names and kind of mashed them up. And then Liam, I just as soon as I wrote about him, Liam is Maeve's love interest, and seemed like a good name for a hot Irish guy.
definitely yes.
We're going to talk about him later.
Him in a little while. Well,
That's
Mary
so
Kay,
funny.
this novel was fascinating to me too because it alternates between the present and Maeve and Therese, and their journey through Ireland, but going back into the past to learn about Kathleen and her journey to America. As a reader, I felt like the transitions were just seamless between those elements, going from one timeline to another. How difficult was that to decide when to reveal those pieces of information? And were there any twists you moved later or earlier to, sort of maximize their impact? And of course, we are spoilers, so you can say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah,
Yay.
I'd written one dual timeline story before, The High Tide Club, and that book nearly killed me. Um, and so I knew I wanted to explore um, the backstory, the Dunnigan sisters' family backstory, and I thought the best way to do that would be to create this long ago great 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 Kathleen Connor. And so it was challenging figuring out, and I'm terrible with numbers. And so I kept having the wrong dates, and I was like, oh no, I have to now. What happens when there's World War One? Are they in World War One? Are the men in World War One? What happens? So that part was tricky. And I had been to Ellis Island. Kathleen, when she leaves Ireland, comes through. She gets on the same ship my grandmother came over on, the Cedric, and she comes into Ellis Island, which is where my grandmother came in through. So I'd been to Ellis Island, and I went back there to refresh my memory. And that's a fascinating place to go to. Um, and and then in the other thing I did was the Tenement Museum in New York City is such a fascinating place. I had been there years ago also, but I went back because I knew so many Irish immigrants uh, after they came to the States, and if they ended up in New York, many of them lived in these really crowded, disease-ridden tenements on the Lower East Side of New York. And so I toured the Tenement Museum twice actually, and you learn a family story about a real Irish family of immigrants who lived in this little tiny apartment and the hardships that they endured. And then, of course, I went in Ireland. I found Rusborough House, and I also toured a tenant farm where poor Irish, working class Irish Catholic people, like my people, would have lived. And that was, the little stone cottages that had earthen floors, and half the time the livestock are living in the other half of the cottage. That was such an eye opener. But trying to get all the details right about, oh, what was it like when Kathleen left, and what was it like when she got to the U.S., and later on, she marries, and what happens then. So that part was really challenging. And then, of course, the portrait stuff was tricky too, and that was another whole can of beans.
Well, this isn't a little aside, but that's one of the reasons I like fiction so much, and historical or dual timeline is you can learn so much about a time period that's so much more vivid than anything you kind of learn about in school, that sort of thing. And it just, that trip to America and her experience at Ellis Island
Yeah.
just really was very poignant for me.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
poignant for me researching it. I found a book through my DeKalb County Library. Shout out to libraries. They helped me find a book called The Bridgets, and it had accounts of young Irish girls who'd come over and ended up in New York, and that was really helpful. I found out that, once they got to the United States, usually a priest helped them find a place to live and helped them maybe find a job. And of course, their whole social life revolved around that, their church and the rest of their, and they were very tribal. I mean, the Irish stuck together. The There's the Tenement Museum also has an apartment that tells the story of Jewish immigrants who came over to the United States, and their story is quite different. Um, they knew people who worked in the garment industry in the on the Lower East Side, and that part it was poignant to me and really um, opened my eyes. And then going and touring. So I'm a big fan of museums, and of course going to in Cobe, the place where Kathleen leaves from and where my grandmother left from. They have this amazing museum of the Irish immigration experience, and there's a big Titanic exhibit because the Titanic was a White Star ship like the Cedric, the one my grandmother came on. Um, Cove was the last port of call for the Titanic before the iceberg.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
so
I did not realize
interesting.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. That's pretty. I don't even have a word. That's wow. That's all I can say. Um, well, as a taking a total left turn here, let's talk about book boyfriends.
A surprise.
Speaking of icebergs, Liam is handsome, he's supportive, he is capable, charming, and like genuinely what you want, like in a book boyfriend. All the things. So,
And he knows how to make whiskey.
and he knows how to make whiskey. That's like a bonus.
Yeah.
So, when you first imagined Liam, how does someone like that come to you? Does he come to you first? Like, is it his voice, or do you have his backstory, or is it his flaws, or is it start from his relationship with Maeve? Like, what comes to you first when you're creating perfect boyfriend?
That's a hard question for me to answer. I know that, when I was touring Rustboro House, there was a distillery, and I toured
Mhm.
it, and the distiller, I don't remember what he looked like, but as soon as I met him and heard him talking so passionately about whiskey and so knowledgeably, I thought, okay, I found Maeve's love interest, because I couldn't figure out, I want her to find love. I couldn't figure out how that was going to happen, but as soon as I went to that distillery, I thought, okay, perfect. Now that's my starting place. And what do I know about him? I know that he's got two brothers, and he's from a big, rowdy Irish family, and they're welcoming to Maeve, but they're a little reserved, and we later find out why they're reserved once they figure out Maeve's connection to Terrymore.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so one of the things that there was some obviously emotional impact, but there's several twists that I'm curious about because Brenda and I were talking, and I did not see some of the twists coming, and the one that she said that she thought she knew, I didn't know, and vice versa. So the first one, and I want to know from all you guys watching, put in the chat, the passport situation. And we are spoilers, so we can say, did you know that Therese had hid her passport? I
Yeah,
did not even think of that.
yeah, I knew. I knew it was the kind of stunt Therese would pull.
Maybe because I didn't even see that. I was like, somebody stole it. Like I kept thinking it was gonna come around with the air in the tires, and it was like all connected. And I was like, so I was like, I can't flip. And I was like, well done. She knew what she was doing.
I wanted Therese for once to think she knew more than Maeve did, that she knew best. And
Love
Therese,
it.
being Therese, decides to take matters into her own hands and not worrying about, oh my God, what could seriously go wrong here? A lot could
Mhm.
go wrong.
Yeah. And then the second twist was Esme, the murder of Esme. Um, I had a feeling that it was the brother, but Brenda did not see that one. She didn't have that one. So, what did you guys think? Did you think, it was the gardener guy, or what did you guys think?
Yeah, we were
And that was a
reversed. I
great
figured
twist.
Therese out, but not Jeffrey. Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and for Mary Kay, for you, how do you come up with all these twists? Like, how do you pull them all off? Do they come to you as you're writing, or is it part of your?
No, I did not plan that. In fact, I thought I was wrapping the book up, and my editor said, um, I think really Esme needs to die. And I went, what? What? No. And she said, yeah, we need another murder because you're wrapping it up too tidily. And I'm like, oh my God, now what? And so
Oh, that's hilarious.
I had to figure out why Esme needed to die, who benefits from that. And I also had to figure out what the repercussions would be for Maeve and Therese. Um, I had Esme's seedy friend whose name escapes me, her buddy from the pub. What the hell is that guy?
Oh, um, oh goodness, help us out, chat. The guy from the pub,
Not the handyman, right?
Yeah, the handyman, the pub. Yeah,
Oh,
let me see,
yes, chat, please help with
Reggie.
that.
Reggie. Reggie. Yeah.
Reggie. Yes,
Thanks,
yes.
Yeah,
Jennifer.
I thought Reggie was a walk-on character when I put him in, the one of the first scenes
Oh.
where Therese meets Esme and Reggie is shooting pool with her and drinking with her. And so then I thought, okay, well, Reggie, maybe I can do more with Reggie. And then, I had mentioned that Therese had a brother that she was long estranged from. Um, and so it was really sort of a matter of convenience. I didn't want to bring in any more new characters. And then um, I thought, okay, what could happen? And then I get Sinead O'Cocker, the dog. And I thought
Yes.
when I put Sinead in there, I thought she was comic relief.
Loved it.
I liked the idea that Esme, who doesn't like anybody, loves this dog. This dog is her life. And so that's why I put Sinead in the book in the first place. And then I thought, oh, okay. Sinead has more than just a walk-on part or a trot-on
That's,
part.
that's so fascinating that that wasn't the initial plan. And I must say, my very next question was going to be about Sinead.
Yeah.
Because as a dog mom myself of Winston and Clementine, named after the Churchills, um, I just love Sinead O'Cocker. And so we talked about human names. How did you come up with her name? And book club members, do you have any pets or know anyone who has pets named after celebrities or historical figures?
Well, I thought, what kind of a dog would Esme have? And I thought, well, she would have a purebred. And as it happens, my son manages a hunting plantation in Southwest Georgia, and he breeds and hunts with English Cocker Spaniels, and they are different from American Cocker Spaniels. Their
So
body
she's in,
type is different, and they look different. And so I thought, okay, I'll give her an English Cocker Spaniel. And I don't know, I just like a pun, and Sinead O'Cocker came to mind.
I love it.
I love it. Okay, so the chat is catching up. So we had to go back to the previous. A lot of people say they had a feeling, they knew that she hid the passport. There were a couple that did not know, and it's a mixed bag for um who killed Esme. We've got a couple saying that they knew. Leah said the brother was the snake, always feeling entitled to everything. Yes.
Yep, he was
Um,
definitely a weasel.
yeah. I loved when Sinead O'Clocker attacked him, and I was cheering on Sinead in that part. I'm like, find him,
See,
get him
I should
good.
have figured it out then. I should have figured it out then because she had been through, yeah, Esme being.
That's when I knew, because I was wondering, like I kind of thought, but when that happened, I was like, you always trust a dog. A dog knows. They know.
Yeah.
So, and then going on to famous pets or pet names, Mary says she had a cat named Fitzgerald, the great Catsby. He was known as Fitz.
I
And
love it.
Jennifer has a dog, a basset hound named Elvis Pupsley. And Susan has a dog named Chip, who we know Chip. Chip is my Winnie's long distance boyfriend. But Chip is named after chocolate chip cookies because he's part black and part Shih Tzu and a poodle mix.
I love it.
And the last one is Beth has a cat named Kiefer Sutherland, Suddy for short, and one named Lulu after Lucy Buffet.
Love it.
Buffet?
Buffett. Jimmy
Buffett.
Buffett's sister was Lucy. It's okay. It's
Terrible at reading
Monday,
tonight,
Lisa.
guys.
It's Monday.
I
Don't
thought
worry.
when I took off the hat, I'd be able to read better, but I can't use that as an excuse.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so we had several questions about this. Well, everyone loved the book, the characters, we were just the setting, like we're all ready to take a road trip to Ireland, but we want more. I want more Maeve, I want more Liam. Have you thought about
Yes.
doing a part two, road tripping again?
Not right now. I mean, the next book, I've barely started, but the next book is a sequel to Sunset Beach.
Ooh,
So,
We
yeah.
cannot wait for.
yeah.
Since you brought that up, can you tell us about that was further along, but that was a perfect segue. Can you tell us anything about it or you're just starting out?
I'm just starting out. I really don't know
Okay.
where I'm going.
It's going to be a book. That's what she's going to tell us.
It is
And
going to
it's
be
a
a book.
sequel to Sunset
There is a
Beach.
prologue. There is a prologue. I've written the prologue, and I will tell you that the prologue has something from my real life.
Ooh,
Just a little
Ooh.
tiny thing.
that's a good
Well,
little teaser.
Just a
I know that is a teaser.
teeny tiny thing.
I loved Sunset Beach, so I'm super excited
Oh, thank
for
you.
Yeah,
That
that.
was a fun one too.
I am
So,
too. You know what time it is?
What is
Mary
it?
Kay?
Cocktail time?
Well,
I
close.
wish.
You may wish you had a cocktail.
I know. I may have to text Tom and then tell him to bring me a glass of wine.
It's time for the lightning round.
Oh, I love a lightning round.
We might need a
Okay,
cocktail after this, though.
Yeah.
I know. So, Mary Kay, which character would you most enjoy taking an actual road trip with?
Oh, gosh, which one? Um, well, not Therese because she wouldn't drive. Maybe and yeah, I mean when I took my road trip, I made my friend Susan came with me and I made her I didn't make her drive, but she didn't want me driving. Let me tell you that on the wrong side of the road. Um Maybe Scotty, who who ends up being Therese's love interest because
Oh,
Scotty is
yeah,
one of
good
these
answer.
people who's competent and I am one of these people who is not.
Well, and I think you really actually answered this one, which is which character would you trust most behind the wheel?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
uh, Scotty, I would trust behind the wheel. Yeah, I would trust Scotty. And
okay.
Liam. I mean, Liam drives, this beat up old Jeep that he and his brother put
Oh yeah,
together out of
that they
spare
built
parts. Yeah.
out of rubber bands and
Yeah.
scotch tape.
Yeah.
Um, I think you touched on this too. Road trip, driver or passenger?
Passenger.
Favorite song on your road trip playlist?
Oh, when we went to this pub in Cork to hear traditional Irish music, the band played a song I'd never heard before, but a lot of bands have covered it called Galway Girls, and I love that song. And then
Yay. I love that song too.
yeah, and of course it's
Oh,
about a guy with regrets.
mm.
Mhm.
Irish coffee or Irish whiskey?
Oh, Irish whiskey on with ice and plenty of water.
Sunrise drive or midnight drive?
Oh, Sunrise Drive. I don't like to drive at night anymore.
Ah, I'm with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll ride at night, but I don't want to drive. Favorite road trip snack.
Oh, peanut M&Ms or Hershey cups, little Hershey cups.
Yeah, she was
Yum.
definite about that one.
Yeah. Although I now
Scenic.
like those little dots, um, herb pretzel twists. Those are good that you get at Costco.
Oh, I'm obsessed with the Dots pretzels. The garlic
Yeah.
parmesan are so good.
Yeah.
Yum. Scenic route or fastest
Oh,
route?
scenic route. My husband always wants the fastest route. And so if I'm by myself, I'm like la 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 la, let me get off the interstate.
And go antiquing.
Yeah, or whatever. Oh, there's a thrift store.
Shepherd's pie or corned beef and cabbage?
Corned beef and cabbage.
Now, this is one that I want to know and I'm leaning in. What is always in your travel bag?
Oh, sleep gummies.
Ooh, okay.
I have
I
I have a terrible time going to sleep, so yeah.
Mm.
I get that. Um, what is your dream road trip destination?
Oh gosh, so many. I would love to travel. Meg just did the Pacific Coast Highway with her family, and I did that
Wow.
years ago, and I would love to go back and do that. And then my husband and I our 50th anniversary is in November, and so we're gonna I think do
Yay.
a cruise on the Dalmatian coast. Go to Greece and
Wow.
um, Croatia and this other little country that starts with an M, and I can't think of the name of it.
That sounds awesome. Okay, your dream road trip vehicle.
Oh, let's give me a vintage Corvette like the one they drove in the old Route 66 series.
Love
Nice.
it.
And the last one for the lightning round. Finish this sentence. No road trip is complete without blank.
A good audiobook.
Ah,
Yay. That wasn't so bad. We
No,
did
that was
good.
fun.
I didn't go too rogue.
No, you didn't.
no, you did well, Lisa.
Yeah, you can't go too rogue with me, Lisa. You know
I
that.
know.
I thought you were going to ask me about my fantasy road trip partner.
I know. I was gonna say, if Paul, how many stops does it take to get to Paul Rudd?
Or, John Krasinski has actually entered the chat now.
Oh, has he
Oh,
entered the
John
chat?
Krasinski has, and Emily Blunt better watch her step.
Okay, here we go. Here's a last minute
uh-oh.
road. You got John Krasinski and you have Paul Rudd standing on each side of the road, but you can only pick up one of them. Which one are you taking?
Paul Rudd, because he'll never age.
That's it's a fact.
Love it.
Yay! I love celebrity crushes.
Hmm.
And we actually had a couple questions about Liam, if you had someone in mind, or if you have an actor who you would want to play Liam, or
Oh
hot.
gosh. I don't. I never really cast I know authors who cast their books and write
Mhm.
about characters that are inspired by actors or actresses, and I rarely do that. The only time I've ever done that when I wrote Savannah Breeze, my character Bebe meets this cranky old charter boat captain who's living in the motel that she, it turns out, owns. And I named him Harry after Harrison Ford. And my editor said at the time, so why did you name him Harry? And I said, well, in my mind, he's Harrison Ford. And she said, do you realize how old Harrison Ford is? He's like 30 years older than Bebe. And I went, oh, okay. But it is. And that's why he never tells her his age in the book.
Interesting. That is so funny. I love that. I'm gonna have to go back and reread that series.
Well,
Brenda, oh, go ahead.
oh, you go ahead, Lisa.
I was just gonna ask if you had a question that you wanted to ask.
Well, I was curious about this. Is there anything that didn't make it into the book that you wish had?
I wish I'd been able to put more letters from Kathleen and more of Kathleen's journey once she got to the United States. I never really got to explore how um, her family ended up in Savannah, besides the fact that somebody came to work on the railroad or the port of Savannah, which is how Savannah has a huge Irish population, and most of them came after the Civil War, and they came through Boston and New York, of course, Chicago, Philadelphia, all the places that the Irish ended up when they came over from Ireland. And then the ones that came south, so many of them came to work on the railroads and in the ports. So I wish I'd been able to write a little bit more about that, but that wasn't the story that was driving the plot.
I will say I loved reading the letters that she wrote to her brother throughout. They were just so sweet in
Oh,
their
they were.
relationship. I know, I loved. I'm sitting here thinking, how could we read more letters? How could we read more? Now that you said that, I love that. Yeah, I think people would love to read those. If maybe a novella.
Well, no, I don't know.
Trying to give Mary Kay more work.
I know,
Don't
right?
tell do not tell me. No, my editor and my agent would not be down with that. They want me to do one thing, and that's work on the next book.
Yes. One thing before, I can't believe it's already like we're almost done, but we always want to ask, what are you reading or have you read anything lately that blew your mind or anything you want to recommend?
Yeah, I'm reading, I just started reading because I'm doing an event with her Saturday, Kelly Rimmer's new book. And I've just put it down. I can't think of the title of it, but I'm really enjoying that. It's kind of a gothic ghost story kind of a thing. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, and actually, our Substack is an interview with Kelly this week. Kristen, who does historic fiction. This is historic fiction too, and I'm enjoying that. And of course, Meet Me in Paris. Hello, will be,
hello.
our live show Wednesday night. And
Yay.
then I've also got my great friend Colleen Oakley's next book. I'm reading that to Blurb, and so great. And when Meg and I were on book tour, I read and loved Dolly All the Time, Annabelle Monahan's book,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
also listened to, because I never read it when it first came out, Nora Goes Off Script, and we both loved listening to that.
I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and what else? We listened to something else. I can't think. I mean, I always have so many on my TBR stack. It's really intimidating.
Well, those are great. Those are great ones.
Yeah.
In Kelly
Yeah.
Rimmer's book, I was trying to look that up, the title. I'm sure someone will put it in the chat.
It's about a book within a book, and it takes place in Australia.
Hmm, I like that.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I like that
Well,
too.
Mary Kay, there's Clementine. I can not believe that it has been an hour, but we have already
Oh my gosh, has it? Hey,
we have
and
already
the other thing I'm loving was
oh,
my friend Lisa Scottolini's new one. This changes everything. Lisa and I are
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce her. Lisa's gonna be in Atlanta on Friday at the Bookbird, my neighborhood bookstore, and that's another fun one. It takes place in Italy, and so that's what else has been on my TV. I read it and loved it. I blurbed it. So if you're in Atlanta, come see us Friday at the Bookbird.
You've got quite a few book club members that are going to be there
Oh,
Friday night.
good. I'm
So
glad.
you'll be able to see.
Atlanta
So I wish
has
I could. I'm going to a concert. I didn't
oh
know. Yeah.
Okay.
Atlanta has
But
so many amazing bookstores. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, we really have just an embarrassment of riches here, and they're all such great indie bookstores, and um, we're so lucky.
yeah, we definitely
Absolutely.
are.
Well, speaking of lucky, we are so lucky to have had, or fortunate to have had you here tonight talking about road trip. It has been so much fun. Let me grab my coffee.
We'll do my book dance.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
tonight,
it's my
Mary
pleasure.
Kay. We
Love being with
loved
you
it.
all. Thanks, everybody.
Yes. Thanks,
Take care.
MK.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And to keep up with Miss Mary Kay Andrews and all of her fabulousness, you can go to her website, marykayandrews.com, follow her on Instagram, she's on all the platforms, but if you have Instagram, you definitely want to follow her there because she's hilarious and you really get to know Mary Kay and all the fun she has with her antiquing, and it's fabulous. So we're just so happy that she took the time to talk about road trip with us. I had to take off my hat because I couldn't see it. Well, it's
Yeah,
the
it
light,
gives a
it
little
creates a
shadow.
shadow. So I was trying to look at the chat and I was like, okay, I've got to take off my wonderful hat. Um, but what a fun night. It went by way too fast.
I know it really did. I mean, just flew by. And there were so many other things we could have explored. I
I
love
have
the thing I,
notes.
I meant to ask her. Well, should have asked her, with all these big, Irish families, there were there was a lot of characters in this book, and I just loved
Mhm.
it, and how
Loved
many
the characters.
interrelationships there were, and it's so
Yeah.
intricate. Like curious about how she managed all of that. Like, I feel like I would have just thrown up my hands.
And
Oops,
I
so
want to,
sorry.
no, we love dogs. Like, don't even worry about it. Um, I want to point out the audiobook was really good. We didn't get to talk to her about it, but the audiobook, um, her narrator, and her name is, I think her name is Kathleen, and I'm sorry if that's not right. I might be thinking of her previous book, but she works closely with a narrator that has done several of her books, and I think it's Kathleen. If I'm wrong, sorry. But I have to say the narrator did a great job with so many different voices because there's so many characters in the book. But you really, it was great. Sometimes when there's a lot of characters, you're doing audiobooks, it's really hard to follow, and you're like, wait, who's that? And wait, who? And I never got that at all in Road Trip. It was just seamless. It was so good.
And that's a whole
Yeah.
nother talent
Hmm.
to do audiobooks like that. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
kind of want to go back now and hear at least part of it on the audiobook.
You
Um,
would,
so
you would enjoy it. You
so
totally
we'll
would.
see.
Especially at the end when she's like, kiss her again.
It's like, yeah, that part you played for me. That was awesome. Well, what a fun night.
I know.
I just love this one.
It's always a
So
good day
before
when
we,
we get to hang with MKA. Ooh, that
I
rhymes.
know, right? Um, I so want to be a fly on the wall on that trip to Ireland. Uh,
There's 2 spots left, Brenda.
I know,
You should
I
go.
know. So we'll see what my bank account says about that, but we will see. Um, so before we go, I wanted to just mention a couple things. One is our reading challenge prompt this month for July is a novel
Yes.
about a road trip. Imagine that coincidence.
I mean, who reads a book about a road trip?
So besides Mary Kay's book, I'm reading Kevin Wilson's Run for the Hills. What about you, Lisa?
I'm reading Ride Along for the, or I'm sorry, Along for the Ride. I said
I don't
Ride Along. That's a movie with Kevin Hart. Um, I'm
know.
reading Along for the Ride by Mimi Grace, which is super cute. It's a little romance. And I also want to point out that we have another bookish banter coming up, which is what we've been doing monthly, where we do a Zoom that's not streamed live, it's not recorded. It's just like a Zoom that you can join and hang out with other book club members and the admin team. It's hosted by one of the admin team each month. And the next one is hosted by someone you guys may know, a little PB over there. Brenda's going to be hosting it. It's on August 6th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be a back to school edition with a special guest. So you guys will definitely want to join in. And the way to do that is looking on our Facebook page, the events tab. You'll see the event and there will be a Zoom link. We haven't added it yet. We'll probably add it later this week. And you can
Yes.
register for the Zoom and it'll email you the link and then you can just join in. So look out for that. That should be a fun time. We've been having a lot of fun hanging out with members and talking about books. So you definitely want to join in for that. And speaking of August, our August book club pick is Meet Me in Paris by Kristen Harmel, who we love.
Yes. And I
Yay!
can't wait for that beautiful to dive into that beautiful cover book.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And then, I mean, back to back Friends in Fiction, we've had such a great summer with our Friends in Fiction authors that we we love. So I'm super excited for that one too. And that is going to be on August 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
And um later in August, we will have our next virtual happy hour with Ron Block and a special guest
Yep.
whom I don't
And
know.
That's on August 27th. And she does not know because that's also a little birthday. We're going to be celebrating a lot. We're going to celebrate Brenda's birthday and not let her know anything that's going on. And we might give ourselves a little toast to the book club that night because we're coming up on 6 years, believe it or not. So we'll toast to the book club and who knows what else might happen. So you definitely want to tune in to that happy hour. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yes, and then the books just keep coming. Our September book club pick is How to Fake a Southern Gentleman by, I'm pulling it up, Mayra
Yay.
Cuevas and Marie Marquardt. And I can't wait to do that one as well. I love it's a very sort of cheeky cover.
Love the cover. And this would be a good, even though we're reading it it's our September book club pick, it is out now. And this would be a great book to read for the August reading challenge prompt, which is to read a book that's inspired by a childhood favorite. And because this book is a reimagining of My Fair Lady. So if My Fair Lady was something that you enjoyed when you were younger, then this would fit that prompt for you.
And just a quick reminder, that's a week later than our usual Monday. It's September 28th.
Yep. And we also want to bring up, if you love our crazy shenanigans and our bookish content, we have a Buy Me a Coffee, which allows readers to donate to help us with costs of doing the show, shipping, giveaways, Zoom, things like that that come up. Brenda and I pretty much foot the bill for the book club, and we wanted to give people an option to donate if they want to, because we don't want to ever have to ask for you guys to pay to be members or anything like that. We would never do that. So if you are so inclined and you'd like to donate, just there's the QR code and you can donate. And any donation is so appreciated. And thanks to everyone that already has bought us a coffee. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. It is much appreciated. And we do just want to give you a reminder again, our bonfire store is up and active all the time now. So if you want to grab some of that book club merch, I'll just scroll quickly through it. Let me accept that. We have happy hour wine tumblers. We have our happy hour t-shirts and sweatshirts as
I
well.
have to say, I got my happy hour t-shirt in the mail. I wore it on Saturday and I loved it. It's so soft and it's like comfortable. All the shirts were comfortable, but it was just so cool seeing the happy hour logo because this is our new happy hour shirt. And it's so cute. So I want to give a special shout out to Leah Calhoun for
Yes,
designing the
thank you,
logo
Leah.
for us. We love it. She's one of our book club members that designed the happy hour logo for us.
And then if you're a traditionalist, here are our original book club tees, sweatshirts, and pullovers. And then we have also added 2 different kinds of book club totes
Mm-hmm.
and caps.
Yep, we love a hat. And I
It
got
looks
my
good,
hat.
Lisa.
So I got my Friends in Fiction book club hat, which I love. The tag is still on. I literally just pulled it out of the bag. But it's so cute. And I love it. I usually don't wear a hat when I have a ponytail. I've been hat heavy today. I'm the
I
hat
know,
lady.
I know, right? They both look good on you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Well, I think that wraps us up for tonight. Thanks everybody for staying with us. I hope you loved Road Trip as much as we did. And Mary Kay is phenomenal as usual. So everyone have a great week and happy reading.
PB&J out.